Hello, people. How you doing today? I like to thank FBS for ending his show when I was coming on, and for the nice things he has said. Uh, Personally, I never thought that him and I would ever talk again, but we have. And you know what? Honestly, it's worked out, so I'm happy with it. Uh, Danny Trio, how are you doing?
Good, pal. How are you?
Good. So, Danny, a lot of people have been saying lately that you should do your own podcast and break away from me. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it seems to be the topic.
Yeah. And what's your opinion of that? Have you started? Have you found a site to start yet? You got your own show lined up,
Oh,
and
yeah, I did it 7 days ago.
okay. Uh, People, I want to say hi to certain people. Rusty Shackleford, Brian Press. I know some of these people are gone already. Michael Hensley, The Truth. The Truth. You wrote a bunch of things. You were trying to explain to Danny on how to speak. So, what do you think about The Truth trying to tell you how to speak, Danny?
Well, he's entitled to his opinion, but I'm still going to say listen and literally and whatever else he said.
I hate these overly intelligent people. Okay, David, how you doing? It's good to see you. Matt Collier, I haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you here. Okay, we have a new sub named Adam Irish Conundrum. Welcome and thank you for subbing to the show. Okay, Tommy Stiggs, how you doing? Anthony DeLuca, how you doing? I appreciate you showing up. David Cameron, be a good boy. You usually are. Jenny Patterson, loyal Jenny Patterson. Eddie Everett, Marco. Michael Hensley, thank you for being here. Joey Electric, David, let's see, Slug. Yes, you are unblocked. There's very few people blocked. Maverick. Okay, let's see. Frankie Rizzo, Vinny the Weasel. The Smiths, Dana. Higher, okay. Um, Michelle One, Brian Press. How you doing, Brian? DP, Michelle One. Let's see. If I missed your name, I apologize. Gunsmoke, I'm glad you showed yourself. We need somebody famous in our chat. And so, being that you're famous, it's like we have a celebrity in there. What do you think about having a celebrity in there?
I'm thrilled.
Hey, listen, guys. Danny has a nice site. Danny, explain to him once again. Name the site that you run.
Well, my site is called This Thing of Ours Social Club, and it just touches on mainly all the 5 families in New York.
Have you had some people from the shows here join since?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Sure. Yeah.
Well, Danny put up some good pictures today about Sonny Black and Sonny Red. I'm going to put them up and explain to you guys who they are. They were in the movie Donnie Brasco. But I want to, FBS talks about being a gangster and is it really a good ending? So I'm going to show you their pictures. I'm going to show you how they looked when they were found. And I just want your opinions here. Let's see. Sonny Red. Okay. Now, Sonny Red was one of the 3 capos that got murdered in the basement. Is that true, Danny?
Correct.
Okay. Now, this is Sonny Red, right?
Yep.
And this is when they found Sonny Red. Let's see. That's Sonny Red too, isn't it?
Yeah, that particular photo there was from a friend of mine, Pat. He shared it on my Facebook page, and that's the decomposing body.
Do you know how long it was before they found his body?
Say it again.
Do you know how long it was before they found his body?
I'm not privy on the amount of time, but it's decomposed, so it's a while.
Okay, and then let's see. Let's talk about Sonny Black. Now, Sonny Black was played by Michael Madsen in the movie Donnie Brasco. And they got some history wrong there. Basically, what they did is they said it was Lefty Guns that got killed. It wasn't Lefty Guns. He went to prison and died in prison, right, Danny?
Yeah, I think he died in 93 or somewhere in that time frame.
He died of cancer. He would have been killed if he stayed out on the street. Actually, being arrested by the FBI probably saved his life. But let's see. This is Sonny Black right here.
Yeah, Sonny Black. The guy below him is Donnie Brasco.
That's Donnie Brasco. And this is what happened to him because of Donnie Brasco. That's him right there. That's his ending right there, people. And unfortunately, that's usually the way it ends. And I just want to show you that because FBS was talking about being a gangster and the ending and stuff. You know, you look at a lot of these guys never get to be buried, or their family. A good majority of these guys just disappear off the face of the earth back in the day. Would you say that, Danny?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of history where some associates or even made members obviously get killed, or you just never hear nothing about them anymore. So it's up to you on what you want to believe as far as what happened to them. But you could probably have a good guess that they came to a bad demise.
And it's like Anthony, how you doing, my man, Tony? They chopped his hands off, I believe. Yes, they did. And now that I was just reading another story, it's very interesting. Wait, Steve, you got top priority. You give us money, you get top priority. Good afternoon, Lee and Danny. Thank you so much, Steve. We really appreciate that. And I want to explain something to you. What is it? Is that called Lake Mead that's out in Las Vegas and Arizona?
I believe
that
so.
Lake,
yeah.
It's down to its lowest level ever. And they just found a barrel from the 80s with a body in it.
Yeah, I saw that.
So they're also saying as the water gets lower, they're expecting to find more bodies.
Well, that was a big dumping ground. Chicago, yeah.
Back in the 80s, it was a dumping ground for the mafia. And that's where they put the bodies. So, even though we're out of the 80s, you still got things popping up from, that's history. It's, that the one they just found that was on the news. I wonder if they're going to be able to find out who that was in that barrel.
Well, I don't know forensics. I'm not a forensic guy, but I'm sure they can with the technology they have today. I'm pretty sure they probably could.
Yeah, Casperosa, you hit it right on the button. The ghost of Tony Spilatro. Yeah. How many of those guys did Tony put in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point, Casperosa. Okay. David Cameron, appreciate you showing up. Yeah, it was still closed, Miss Can't Be Wrong. So maybe they said that if they can't, I don't know, they may have found a wallet on it or whatever. And, we're going to talk about something else that's not mafia. I just wanted to get it out. This woman that was 1 week away from retiring and was a guard at a prison, took this guy. He got out. She put him in the car and she took off with him. The guy was a murderer, very bad man. And yesterday, they got into a car chase and the woman shot herself in the head instead of being arrested. But the tough guy next door didn't. Go figure. I think that woman made a good move too, because she's in her 50s. She helped that guy escape prison. She's a prison guard. And then she would have to go to prison, Tony. What do you think about that, Tony?
Danny? Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, but that's quite common.
Not Tony Pizza. I'm calling you after Tony B.
Yeah,
I talk to Tony
quite
all the
common,
time.
In the prison system that these guys hook on to somebody that's vulnerable for whatever reason. And this one was the extreme case that she actually broke him out of jail, per se. She emptied her bank account of $94,000, and they went on they took off.
Yeah, exactly what they did. And it's sad. The woman was just a couple of weeks away from retiring.
Yep.
She had almost $100,000 in the bank. She was going to get a nice pension, and she threw it all away for some sleazebag. A man that was a murderer and did horrible things to women. Go figure. But when you were in prison, Danny, did you have any women at that time back in those days that were POs?
Oh yeah, we had some, but again, for whatever reason, they gravitated towards certain type of guys in there. I mean, I never had anybody go after me, but I'm just saying some of the guys that were in there, they were getting packages sent by COs and whatnot, particularly like in the infirmary, and areas like that. So, it happens. It's very prevalent.
So basically, the POs would send it to the prisoners, but could they lose their job? They could lose their jobs if they're caught doing it, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think any of the POs were ever suspicious? Other honest POs were suspicious?
Well, I don't know. I'm sure it's hard not to know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they have some kind of code between them that they don't say nothing. But, I seen it. I mean, you could tell.
Right. Wise guys are good to their immediate families. Not always. They provide them with money, gifts, and good lives. Yeah, but you're right. Not always are. They're not always good to their families. A lot of them are, but let's be realistic. Yes, there are women that go for guys in prison. Do you guys remember about maybe 10 years ago where all the women guards in the Baltimore prison, like 90% of them were pregnant? It was like a big orgy, and that was in the Baltimore prison system. That doesn't surprise me with Baltimore. Does it surprise you with Baltimore at
Not
all?
at all. That's a tough place over there, that particular prison.
Exactly. Oh, Miss Can't Be Wrong. See, that's why I love you being here. This is what my older people that I had would not do. And this is Miss Can't Be Wrong and Gunsmoke. They're very good at what they do. And the other guys, of course. Bill Jordan Lee was on the Giz cleanup crew in Times Square when he was growing up. Hey, Bill Jordan. See, Bill Jordan was a decent guy. Now, Bill Jordan, who was my friend, and I always liked him, has decided that his friendship with me is not good enough, that he decides that he wants to go be friends with MRE and with Angel Gotti, which I have no problem with. But you see, this guy, Bill Jordan, has been part of my show. He gave me some stuff on Gunner, and I did a show because he asked me to. But you see how he pays me back? That's a scumbag right there. Bill Jordan, you're a scumbag. I like that. Bill Jordan, did he wipe your mouth? Good comeback, my man. And to Smiths. Danny, do you think the COs are underpaid, so they try to make money illegally? Just curious.
I don't know. I know they get paid very well in federal prison. I don't know what the pay scale is in state, but I don't know if it's too much. I don't know if it has anything to do with money. I think it's an adrenaline thing. Believe it or not, I think it's to see if they can get away with something. So, I really don't know. I was never involved. I never knew anything about that. But the COs bring in pot and drugs and everything else. So, whatever it is, it is. And then a lot of these inmates, they know from they got people on the outside to find out if a CO is financially crippled. They're going through a hardship, divorce, and they prey on that.
Yeah, and look at that movie about those two guys that escaped. It was on HBO, a Showtime. I can't think of the movie. They escaped from upstate New York. You were in that prison, Dannemora.
Yeah,
yeah. My brother Danny was in Dannemora too, and that prison didn't have anybody escape from him, but a guard helped them get out. This is it. And when I was in jail, I remember one thing that everybody always said. The only difference between the prisoners and the guards are the guards get to go home at night.
That's it.
Because when you're around those type of people, you start becoming like them. It's like automatic. It's like a guy growing up around gangsters. What do you start becoming? What you're around. Imagine spending 30 years in a prison, Danny, and you know this. You were in a prison for 20 years. Can you imagine those guys? They get up every day for work and they see the worst of the worst. That's what they deal with every day.
Yeah. They retire with them.
Yep. Come on, guys. Let's hit that like button, please. I really appreciate it. I stay out of all this BS. I just like content on shows. Marco, we appreciate that. Thank you. We're trying to give you content right now. And with the BS, we'll answer the BS when we have to answer the BS. I'll give you an example. There's people going around right now that are warning me, and that would be Danny too, that MRE is coming back on Saturday, and he's going to start attacking everybody, including us. That's up to him, but it will not be a good thing because we've really been holding back. Danny, are you going to let anybody attack us?
Well, no. I mean, if that's what they want to start, listen, that just goes to them. They're going to keep opening up a can of worms, and in my opinion, people could say what they want and do what they want, but the fact of the matter is if you disagree with somebody, why do you got to be attacked? I mean, I just don't understand that. So if they want to push their narrative and they want to go on here and try to belittle people or whatever, I mean, expect tenfold back. I mean, it's just, that's a natural reaction. I don't like being involved in this shit, to tell you the truth. I could give a fuck. But, if the facts are the facts, they are what they are. You accept it and you keep it moving. I don't know what all this trivial bullshit is about. I just, I'm a little different than a lot of people. I don't know. It's just crazy to me.
Danny, I'm having a hard time realizing how stupid people are.
Well, you know what? I don't want to categorize people as stupid, but I think they're ignorant. And I think a lot of people just want to see what they want to see. And then again, there's the other people that don't want to make waves. They might believe a certain type of way, but they're not going to go against, the norm. And to me, that's a coward. If you have something on your mind or in your face and you got something to say, fucking say it. If nobody likes it, listen, there's an unsubscribe button. There's a fucking block button. There's a Manga Bugats button. You do what you got to do. I mean, I don't understand why all these people have their underwear in a bunch. I mean, I don't know. You got certain people that come on these forums and they start threatening, and this guy's going to do that, and this guy. Look, nobody's going to do nothing. Nobody's going to do nothing. So all that energy that you're wasting, say what you say and keep it moving and go on to something positive. Why stay stagnant and keep repeating the same bullshit? Fuck them. It is what it is. Everything was brought out. So you take sides, whatever. So that's it. So you did your thing. What do you got to keep harping on it for? I don't understand. I don't know.
There's one thing that Danny and I can guarantee you. If anybody ever came to our homes, that wouldn't be pretty, Danny, would it?
Well, listen, nobody has threatened that, but, just in general conversation.
Well, actually, they were threatening that last night. They were talking about going to people's homes.
Listen, I'm not a killer, but if somebody comes to my house to hurt me, hypothetically, what am I going to do? I mean, realistically, what's going to happen. I got a right to protect myself, just like everybody else on this forum has a right to protect it. So that's listen. Anyway, it's
and you know what's funny, Dan? You know what's funny when you think about it? I live in Texas. You live in Florida. Two of the biggest stand your ground states in the country.
Well, I'm a felon and I got problems, but nobody's going to come on my property or knock on my door or say they're outside of my house to hurt me or my property. That just ain't going to happen. I don't give a fuck if you're King Kong. That's not going to happen. And I'm not threatening nobody. I'm just saying, just like you would tell me if I said I'm going to pull up on you. What are you going to do? You're going to protect yourself. So everybody that wants to, talk that shit, talk it, but make sure you come.
Yeah. And, that's the thing, people. If you're going to argue, you're going to argue. But don't start threatening to go to people's houses. And then last night I hear people, oh, you got shit in your closet. Everybody has shit in their closet.
Come to my house. I got a lot of it.
Yeah, I mean, what the fuck, man? I mean, how dirty is this going to get?
Listen,
it's ridiculous.
Let me just say this. All right. I don't care who you like, who you hate. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care whatever you are. But if you can't do something positive and keep it moving, what's the sense of wasting your time going backwards? Everything was presented. People made their choice, but some people can't accept that. So listen, if that's all you want to do is harp on something, then you've got no lives. I don't know what you do all fucking day. But, if that's all you want to do, get a dog, get a fucking hobby, do something. I don't understand.
Talking about dogs,
Oh,
Lee,
my
do you have
dog.
any information why Tony Pizza has 8 dogs? Is it dollar play or is it actually safe? Well, listen, Ron, I'm going to tell you what. Let's just pray that Tony does the right thing with the dogs. You know, he lives in a car. He doesn't have a home. Maybe he does. Maybe I'm wrong. But anytime I have 2 dogs, taking care of 2 dogs is a tough job. Danny, he's lucky. He has a dog. He has a bulldog. He opens the door, the thing goes out, comes back in. Danny doesn't even know he's there, right, Danny?
I do, but he's
Oh,
my
you do?
second son.
Oh, yeah. And can you imagine having like 8 puppies?
Forget it. I couldn't do it.
Oh my God. They'll be shitting and pissing. So they're shitting and pissing in Tony's car right now.
Well, I hope they
you
ain't.
got
But
8 of
God
them.
damn.
I mean, God bless Tony, you know. Listen, I hope his heart's in a good place. Maybe it is, but 8 puppies, that's a tough thing. If he's gonna sell them, start a puppy mill, who the hell knows what he's gonna do? But you know, that was a great question. But Ron, thank you for that question. Okay. Every time I come to this live, it's about beefs, even though you guys always say you're going to stay out of it. The Don. First of all, you call yourself the Don.
Well, listen,
Okay?
again, it goes back to what I said before. If you want to be an instigator, you're welcome here. But, you know, when you make a comment like that, you're a moron. Nobody's starting no beef. This beef was already
Yeah.
out there, you know, and so I said what I had to say. If you don't like what I have to say, you can go back to whatever channel you came from and you can hang out there. Because to me, I'm still going to crack a beer and eat my dinner. I can give 2 fucks what you say.
I couldn't have said it any better. You know, this is what I like about having Danny as a partner. We almost think alike. It's like we're identical twins. Okay. Granted, I don't know who's better looking, Tony. I'm going to get killed for calling him Tony. Tony B, you did this to me, dude. Now I'm calling Danny Tony B. Don't ever get old, people. Don't ever get old. Miss can't be wrong. Exactly. If you don't like the channel, why come in and harass the threatening content creators?
Listen, I don't go to Angel Gotti's channel and start saying crazy shit. Listen, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand the comment. I could care less if they love him, they hate him, they screw him. I don't give a shit. The facts are the facts, and keep it moving. That's all. I don't understand.
It's like last night. I wanted to go. I got blocked in Angel's channel because I wanted to come on and confront or talk to MRE, but I wasn't allowed. And I'm not going to say anything bad about Angel Gotti. Okay. If somebody else wants to, that's their thing. But if someone attacks me, I'm gonna. So let's just hope it stays peaceful. That's all. That's it. You know, we don't want everybody going at everybody. It's just ridiculous. Gunsmoke, how you doing? Hey, Gunsmoke, I'm gonna drop the link. I'd like you to come in if you want. And Gunsmoke, if you don't come in, that means you're chicken. Okay. Lee Cole, your channel is 10 times better than it was 2 months ago. Sorry to say that, but I'm glad. You know something, Edward? I'd rather have you say that. You know, our channels go up and down. You know, when I first started this, the channel was doing great. And you know what really hurt the channel was the beefs, fighting, especially fighting with FBS. The best thing that ever happened is me and FBS not fighting anymore. I'll be honest with you. Okay? And it's not like we're hanging out and having coffee. We agreed not to fight. We talk. We try to schedule our shows together and be professional about it. If people don't like me or him, that's your business. But we're going to try to give you good content here. But thank you, Edward. I appreciate your honesty. Oh, look who it is, Danny. John Wolf.
She could sue me. There ain't nothing in my name.
No, John Wolf's just busting chops.
I know.
But John, we're not, John, you got my email. I'm sure you did. So we're not going to talk about it right here. But John, There's sometimes you step over that line. We'd appreciate it if you want to put something up, busting my chops or Danny chops. You're more than welcome. But just make sure it's us, John. That's all we ask. Okay. Thank you for that, John. Okay. Lee Cole, any comment about Bay 8's attempted assassination of Gunsmoke the Don? I compared it to a botch hit of Vic Areno and Carmine Sessa. You know what happened is Bay 8 drove to Gunsmoke's house. And
what happened?
Nothing. You know, he drove by it.
Oh.
You know, and you know, it's a little. This is what the people. This is it. See, I live in Texas. Tony lives in Florida. We're not worried about people coming to our house. But you people in New York, and you got these insane people walking around on these shows. There's no guarantee. There's no guarantee who you're going to piss off. That's it. Okay. Ask Danny if he thinks nobody has ever made a play for the Casey. Why he thinks nobody has ever made a play for the Casey family. Vic been boss and behind prison for almost 3 decades. It's not like Persico family where he had family members.
Well, you know what, Xavier, I wish I could answer that. You know, I'm not involved with the Lucchese crime family, but you know, I don't know why. You know,
is he accurate?
A number of reasons, but you know, I wouldn't base fact on him being a boss. He might be a boss on paper because he's in prison, but I don't think he's doing anything outside as far as people listening to him per se. That's just my opinion. I could be totally off, but that's what I would think. Okay,
let's see if you know who this guy is. Lee, do a show on Benny Eggs, World War II vet and underboss of the Genovese family.
That's the one that said Sammy was going to beat up or kill or something, or disrespected, something to that effect.
Oh, that's the one Sammy was talking about, Benny Eggs?
Yeah, which I think is complete fallacy, but, you know, it is what it is.
Okay. Yes, let's see. Lee, I'll send a screenshot of Angel's chat showing Ron Gross simping for MRE. Hey, listen, I know that Ron Gross is simping for MRE, but Ron Gross is still welcome here. You know, I'll be honest with you. Ron Gross has always busted my chops, but we're not going to not let people in here because they bust our chops. If you want to come in and bust our chops respectfully, Danny, you have any problem with anybody busting your chops respectfully?
Not at all. You know, if they want to come out here crazy, then they're going to get crazy back.
Yeah. Yes, I already knew about it. I already knew about Ron, and hopefully Ron will behave, and he's been behaving today. So as long as Ron behaves, he's more than welcome here. Driving to someone's house where it's known there are elderly people living just to yell and make threats. You're a punk with no respect. But you know what? What happens if one of those elderly people you're driving up to is Danny Trio? You know, you never know. Don't underestimate elderly people. Danny, not that I'm calling you elderly.
Wow, I'm crippled already. I'm old.
Yeah, but we are. You know, they can start once you get near that 60 mark, they can start saying elderly.
Yeah.
But you know, but you're a 60-year-old man with a lot of spunk. I think I have a lot of spunk. I mean, if someone drove up to my house, I mean, if you guys remember, I had Damian Trites, an MMA fighter, show me my house and threaten to show up at my house. You know, so, and if Damian showed up at my house, I'm not going to go outside and fight him. You know, but it's Texas. Remember that. If you don't carry a gun in Texas, there's something wrong with you, or you're a felon. And even the felons carry guns in Texas. Also, Vic has to be pushing 90. I doubt he's really calling shots from prison.
Yeah, I don't think so. But that's just
he might be in the hospital. People, see, this is the thing we don't know. When these guys get older, they might be in a hospital. They may not even be there. They might be in some type of nursing home. Say they're totally feeble. They'll send them to a nursing home. You're 90. You know, nobody knows how your health is when you're 90. Unless you're Nancy Pelosi. That bitch is 84 and she's still fucking moving. 84 years old. Can you imagine that?
And she has mob ties.
She's kind of a gangster. I don't like her. I hate everything about her, but she is kind of a gangster. She comes from a gangster family. I mean, her family ran Baltimore back in the day of the mob. John, I qualify to live in an assisted living center in 8 more years. Yeah, but John, you're in New Orleans. Oh, ooh, I'm sorry. Well, everybody knows where you are. Anyway, John, I don't think I'd want to be in a senior place where you live. I really wouldn't. Lee, remember when Tony Pizza threatened to bury you in the desert by your... Yeah. He threatened me so many times that no one's has threatened as many people as Tony, and where Tony said he's coming to their house to hurt them. Because everybody knew Tony was never going to hurt nobody. But you know what? Tony was in that special on Netflix. Tony, if you're listening, I'd like to tell you one thing. If I was you, Tony, I would go back to that corner that you were at in that special, and I would sit there, and you would be shocked how many people would know you because you were in that HB. He was in a special on Netflix, Tony. He played the homeless guy in the corner. And I think he should just go back to the same corner for publicity. Okay, Lee hates Pelosi. Well, I don't like her, that's for sure, people. Look what's going on in our country right now. She's a big part of it. John Wolf, I will be. John, you ain't 55 years old. You're like in your early 40s. Nancy Pelosi just bought a house in Jupiter, Florida for $25 million. I hope she hope somebody breaks her fucking windows. And you know what's funny about Nancy Pelosi, Danny? The only job she has is as the Speaker of the House. This is the really weird thing. And her husband, when she first came to the Congress, she was the House of Representatives. When she first came there, she had no money in the bank. Now she's worth billions.
They all are. There's where the crime is.
And now they're doing this thing. They just signed a $50 billion check. Remember, we're $30 trillion in debt, people. The United States has no money.
Yeah. Yeah. And gas prices are over $4 a gallon.
And we just sent that feeble old fool, Joe Biden, just signed a thing where they agreed to send $50 billion to the Ukraine.
Yeah. Well,
think about that.
They need to take care of their backyard before they start sending money somewhere else. That's how I feel about that.
But you know what? That money's not going to even make it there. It'll never make it there. You know, it's going to go to Halliburton, those people making the weapons. It's going to go to them. They literally are taking $50 million to split up amongst them. There's no supply lines going into Ukraine. It's all bullshit, people. All it is a big scam to rip off $50 million. This is what we got in office right now. What's happening right now is the scariest thing in this country. It's never been at this point, ever. I'm sorry about the politics, but sometimes you got to talk about it. Yeah. John Wolf, we can't keep borrowing money to pay these states and federal employees. John, I can't. You know, John, that's what pisses me off about you. You do shit to fuck with me, and then you say something that makes so much sense. Yeah, Biden wants to give 48 million people free internet. Boy, I wish I can get that free internet. You can barely get internet, Danny.
Yeah, that's because where I live. Yeah, I live out in the woods.
Company. They should give that internet to you free. Okay, Casparosa, I knew you were going to say something about during the Middle East wars. I'm talking about now. Okay, I know that you like the left and you voted for Biden. There's no doubt about it. So you're going back to the old days. Okay. When this happened, we were $2 trillion in debt. Now we're $30 trillion in debt. And that's what your party running shit. So sorry, Kasparosa. I like you. You're a good guy, but you are a lefty. I'm sorry. He's. I agree that. But Vic, a few years back, had Matty Madonna, his underboss and concierge, step down and replace them. If not, he said he'd kill them. I doubt Matty Madonna was scared of Vic Arena. What do you think?
Well, he got made later on in life anyway, so but I don't know the logistics between them. But I mean, I think common sense goes a long way. So if if it don't make sense, it ain't true. That's how I look at it.
Exactly. Joey Electric, it doesn't matter how many Russian soldiers are killed, they will just replace them. Putin doesn't care. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. I'm telling you, man, this is just a big plot with all these military companies that build these weapons. They're all making tons of money. Halliburton is they're making so many weapons now. And who runs Halliburton? Who's a big part of Halliburton? The Cheney family. Dick Cheney and his daughter, his corrupt daughter. And now they want to send troops to get grain out of the silos to put them on the market to make food prices drop. Yeah, John, it doesn't make any sense. See, John's really smart. He pretends he's not. John O'Messer, I like political Lee. Danny, do you think somewhat like me when it comes to politics?
Well, I can't vote, but I'm a Trump supporter. I think he obviously was a better person for the job than this moron Stuttering Joe.
Yeah, God. Did you hear today he made a speech and he messed it all up and it was horrible. It was like, he didn't even know what he was saying. Pound in pink. Okay. Yo, Trump had a big part of that debt. No, he didn't. Let me tell you something. The Congress and the Senate betrayed him. The Republican Congress betrayed him. They wouldn't fight. And Trump said that himself. They put him in the corner. He couldn't stop it. That's the truth, pounding the big pink veil. You liberal. But anyway. I still like you on the show, pounding pink veil, but you are kind of a lefty. Okay. Joey, the Russians are killing 15-1. The famed Wall of Canadian sniper returned to Canada, and he said he only got off 2 shots at a window and escaped with his life. Yes, people, it's horrible what's going on there. They're raping women. I mean, what the Russian soldiers are doing is absolutely horrible. Everybody's into Ukraine. Who would have thought? We went from a mob show to a political show. Ukraine is screwed if they win or lose the war. If they lose, they're going to be screwed by Russia. If they win, they're going to be screwed by the EU and Biden. Exactly. That's what it is. See, we have a lot of smart people in here that are political. And probably 80% of you think like me when it comes to politics, not from life. Okay, I really consider selling my house and moving to Costa Rica. I'm done with these people destroying our country. Donnie, here's the problem with moving to Costa Rica. And Danny, maybe you know something about this. Costa Rica is not cheap anymore, people. It used to be cheap. A couple of years ago, people from this country started moving to Costa Rica. So as Americans move to Costa Rica, the prices there have gone way up. It's not, if you were going to move to Costa Rica 5 years ago, it would have been better. Same with Panama. Those are places that people are moving. And here's another thing about Costa Rica and Panama. Do you really want to live there? You can go outside and step on the grass and be killed by anything. Would you want to live in those like rainforest type countries?
Not me. The Gambinos had a big betting place out of there.
Who's that?
The Gambino crime family had a huge sports bet out of Costa Rica.
Didn't the mob work a lot of those countries with sport bets?
Yeah, I think a few, yeah. Because the laws are different.
The people destroying this country is federal and state employees, in particular the military and law enforcement groups. The people with guns make the rules, and those rules will be enforced. Yeah, that's why they, matter of fact, Trump got into it the other day with somebody from Australia. I don't know if you people seen it, but it was kind of funny because he was telling the Australians, well, what can you guys do? You have no guns anymore. Australia just gave up their guns. They can't, and their government during COVID in Australia, they were putting people in internment camps, and people in Australia could not fight back. That's what they were doing because they had no weapons. Panama, Nico, Panama too. Lots of real estate is held in Costa Rica, Panama, and hey, Danny, why don't you tell them what the housing situation's like in Florida right now?
Oh, you can't get a house over here. The houses are, they're just none. You can't buy nothing here. I mean, the houses are, the real estate is going crazy over here because they don't have the houses to sell. Because everybody from up north pretty much came down here and bought all the good homes in nice areas, so.
Then we have these companies like Blackwater that are buying up these homes. And I'll give you an example. We have Amazon moving to this part of Texas right here. They're built now. They're going to be opening this month. But what happened is Blackwater came in and bought up all the houses in Amarillo, and they're giving them to the executives at Amazon. So the rich people will have homes, and people that are middle class and lower middle class have to rent homes. Danny, does this make you think twice about selling your home?
Well, I thought about it. The fact of the matter is that if you are going to sell your home, this is the time to do it because, particularly here in Florida, if you got a house that's worth $150,000, you're definitely going to get over 300. 350 for the house, even if it's not appraised for that high, because a lot of these, a lot of people coming down here, they start a bidding war on these homes because the inventory is nothing. So,
yeah, it's kind of funny that you mentioned that. I live in a little shit town. When I first moved here, there were signs everywhere. There's no signs. There's no houses for sale anymore.
Yeah, same here.
It's everywhere. It's like even in the boonies of Florida, right? I mean. I remember when I lived down in Florida, I lived in Palatka and Satsuma in the beginning, and those are kind of out of the way. And I hear there's nothing in those real estate markets. Okay. Let's see what Vinny has to say. If Trump was still in office, we would be fine, Vinny. That's a great point. But he's not, so listen, people might not like us getting too political here, and if you don't like Trump, I apologize. We're just trying to be honest here, people. That's what it comes down to. Realtors call us a few times a week asking to buy our home. That's what they're doing. Danny, have you gotten any of those calls?
They come by your house. They put their business cards on your doors. They do they get your phone number. They call you if you have a home line. It's amazing.
I actually can't believe we're getting into this conversation, but you guys all seem to be there, so I'm not going to say no. The Rock for president, why? Like I want some big steroid freak as my president. Danny, you anywhere near Polk County? Danny? Can you hear me, Danny?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Are you anywhere near Polk County? Danny, can
no,
you
I'm
hear
not
me?
near Polk County.
Okay. No, he's not. Okay. You can't even afford to buy a home now that it's America's dream. Lucky we're not selling our home. Come on and bring the poverty to our country. Let me tell you something. My sister last year sold her home in Charlotte, and she sold it for $40,000 above what she thought she was going to get for it, her and her husband. But now, if they still had that house a year later, they would get twice as much money as they paid for the house. And they're in Florida now, and they bought a camper and drove around the United States. So they're in a position now where they're in Florida in a park, nice trailer, beautiful truck, but it's cheaper for them to stay there. They already been looking for a home in Florida. They're having no luck. You know, people, if you have $100,000 in the bank and say you have an 800 credit score, that should be good enough to buy a really nice house, but you can't. Now they want you to have $1 million in the bank. Danny left. No, Danny be back. Okay. Let's see what's the situation with the Columbos today. Are they strong? Don Vito, I'll save that for Danny, but I don't think any of the families are strong. Look at the Genovese. All those arrests that just happened with the Genovese family, and they're probably the strongest family. They've always been the strongest family. Trump was vile, a liar, a man with no values who never kept his word on anything. Yes, but you know what? Nobody was coming across the border when he left the presidency. Gas prices was below $2 when he was the president. Remember those days? See, you're one of these lefties that just don't care about our country. You're blind. You don't want to see it. Danny, welcome back. I thought you said, fuck this politics. I'm out here. I moved to Tampa and it'd be lit down here. Well, Tampa is a very expensive area to live now, ain't it, Danny?
Yeah, I'm about 50 miles from Tampa.
Wolf, who the hell wants to live in Mississippi? You know, I'm not going to lie. That's a good question. Listen, I lived in a Gulfport for a little while in Biloxi. Talking about miserable. You open your door and you'll have 1 million mosquitoes waiting to bite your ass up. Even the dogs don't want to go outside during the summer in Mississippi. I never seen so many mosquitoes in my life. Here in Texas, the humidity is very low where I am. We see very few mosquitoes. But I bet you Danny can't say that. You got a lot of mosquitoes where you are, Danny? Danny?
I can't hear you.
Yeah, I think it's you, Danny. Let me see. 1 second.
I hear you now.
You hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Is everybody hearing us okay? Gulfport sucks. A whole beach they can't use. Good crawfish. Nico, you're not joking. That place is a shithole. Have you ever been to Gulfport, Danny?
No.
Oh my God. You know, and that's where the military is. That's where the Navy has a base for Seabees. And my daughter was there briefly. But luckily she got lucky and she went out to California. But she hated it in Gulfport, Nico. And you know about the military, Nico. You're a military man. But my daughter, she was stationed there, luckily only for a couple of weeks, and they moved her to a next place, which was California. And she loved it out there. But she said it was hell being in Gulfport. I live in Gulf Shores for a bit, not crazy about Alabama. Who's crazy about Alabama? I'll tell you what. Sorry, Alabama. I'm not crazy about you either. Are there certain states that you just wouldn't go to, Danny?
Say it again.
Are there certain states that you just won't go to?
Nah, I don't really care where. I go anywhere. It don't matter.
Okay, let's see. Vinny Bracco has just went live for a few minutes, brandishing a shotgun, making it threats to kill. Oh my God. What? I don't believe that. I think that's one of those people just coming in to get people to go over there. So I'm going to put him on timeout. Don't fall for that shit, people. That's what they do. Too hot and hillbilly for me. Exactly. Would you agree with this? Iceman says the Lucchese family is the strongest family right now. Danny,
Why would you say that?
I'm just asking you.
No, I don't know where what he based that on.
Look at this. Look, Danny. I can't believe you're in Texas, Lee. Are you in which sect? I'm not going to even answer that. That's stupid. Not as stupid as you, though. Here in Australia, 90% of us live an hour from the ocean. Yeah, but don't you also live an hour from the desert, don't you, Matt? I mean, I think that Australia is 2/3 desert. I might be wrong, but Mad Dog, the president does not set prices. That's not true, Mad Dog. Okay, you got to get your facts straight. Laws, the presidents can just like, I'll give you a perfect example. What's the first thing Biden did when he came into office? He signed an executive order and fucked people out of jobs and with gas jobs in Texas. That's the first thing Biden did. An executive order. That was the president of the United States, Mad Dog. So please get your facts straight. If you want to be intelligent, say something intelligent. God, I can't stand when people are like that. John Wolf, I didn't like it. After 6 months, I was like, get the fuck out of here. Yep, there's just certain states like that. Miss can't be wrong. You hit it right on the button. Biden personally and literally raised gas prices and shut down the pipelines. So for that jerk to say that the president cannot control prices, it's also the presidents that release the fuel. Any extra fuel they can release. That's a presidential order. Danny, isn't it amazing how some people just don't understand things? Lee Tuck Carlton. Hey, that's a compliment. I'm no fan of Biden, but the main reason the gas prices are so high is we aren't buying oil. We aren't buying oil from Russia. No, that's wrong, Jane Creek. 1 to 2% of our oil comes from Russia. Almost nothing. Absolutely wrong. Jane Creek, you are repeating what you've been told on MSNBC and CNN. Russia has nothing to do with our gas prices. We have more gas and fuel in this country than any place in the world. But we have leftists that don't want to take it out of the ground. That's the truth, Jane. $5.30 a gallon. How much is gas in right now going for where you are? Danny?
It's $4.29 where I'm at.
It's $3.80 here, but I'm in Texas, but it would be a lot lower. Nico, you're absolutely right. Gas was high. The conflict in Ukraine has nothing to do with our gas prices. It's the press, the media that tells people that, and half the people that live at home are a bunch of retards and they believe it. Whoops, I'm sorry, but it's the truth. Danny, we kind of a political show tonight, aren't we?
Yeah.
Danny's like, I'll let Lee do the talk. I'm staying the fuck out of this. Okay. What's happening with gas in Russia is having a global knock on it. It's not doing anything to us, Don Vito. It doesn't affect our prices. Do you realize we don't even need to get gas or fuel from anybody? This country can literally take it out of the ground and not get fuel from anybody for the next 1,000 years. You know what it is? These congressmen, they have stock in these oil companies, especially these foreign oil companies. So they're making themselves rich, and they're purposely doing this. It's a group of a couple hundred people doing this to us. I don't know politics. Biden killed 18K jobs by stopping. Yes, he did. You know something, people? I know a lot of people down here that were devastated when the first day he was in office, because he shut the pipeline down the first day he was in office. And people down here, they had nice trucks and they were making really good money. They didn't think that he was going to just come into office and close things down the first day, but he did. Vincent, everyone is worried about money, not safety. Trump did a lot, kept people from coming over the border. He sure did. Mexico was stopping them because Trump got a hold of the president of Mexico and threatened him. And he listened. Okay. So, Danny, what do you think about this little splurge of politics right now we're discussing?
It is what it is.
What do you think about it?
Well, I think the United States should be self-sustainable. I don't understand, why these politicians, these criminals, allow this to get the way it is. I mean, it's nonsense to me. If we can produce X amount of gallons of gas every day, why don't they do it? These prices would be obviously below $3 a gallon, and everybody would be all right. But if you got a family that has to drive to work or whatever, I mean, they're spending at least $150 a week in gas, $200 a week in gas. I mean, it's crazy.
When I'm at the gas station now, I see these trucks pull up, guys that have big trucks like you, and it's costing them $120 to fill it up.
That's what it cost me. Well, I'm lying. $112 to $115 to fill my tank.
So how much did it cost you in the beginning before this whole thing started going on?
60.
That's a big difference.
Right.
People ask me about food. I'm lucky. I live in Texas. I live in cattle country. So we're the first to get the cattle and all that stuff. We have butcher shops here that literally kill the cattle in the backyard and put it in the shop. I mean, little towns here have butcher shops. And so you have really good meat. It's freshly cut. But people like in New York and other places, Florida, and now they're having a baby. Did you hear about the shortage they're having with baby food now?
Yeah.
I mean, think about that.
Well, this is just going to get worse. This is not going to get better because nobody's going to do nothing about it. You go to the grocery store now, the prices are ridiculous, man. I mean, it's crazy, but nobody seems to care. But it's ludicrous to me, absolutely ludicrous.
And with this baby food shortage for babies that are under a year old. So if you want Similac or something like that, you're talking about it's not on the shelf. You got to change the formula, and that could hurt the baby. Right.
It's crazy. But again, it goes back to what we were saying before. These politicians don't give a shit. Yeah, they get on television and they talk a good talk and everything. But the fact of the matter is, they don't do shit. Then they want to know why people go crazy. I mean, realistically, you got a family that's struggling. What are they supposed to do? So, I don't know. I'm not a scholar, but, obviously.
You know what happens to people when people start going hungry? Crime starts happening.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
That's it. And that's what's going to happen. That's what they want. And Lee, how's the food? Okay, I answered that one. But thank you, Matt. My prediction, our governor of Florida is going to win the presidency. Trump will run and win governor of Florida. Well, you know what? I'll be honest with you. If DeSantis runs against Trump, I will vote for DeSantis. I'll be told only because of the age factor, not because I don't like Donald Trump. I don't want another 78-year-old president. I mean, when a man's 78 or a woman 78 years old, 90% of them can't function properly. So how can you be a politician when you're 70, 80 years old? Look at Nancy Pelosi. She's she nailed down on one knee and 3 people had to help her up. It's more complicated behind the scenes regarding gas price issue. Both sides are blaming somewhat. Actually, I disagree with you, DP. Just let us take the fuel up. It's very safe. It's very safe now. It's not about oil spilling on land. That very rarely happens, almost never. You know, very rarely do you hear about an oil spill. MRE said he has the final solution to this whole problem. God bless him if he does. Okay, if he has the solution, he can run. I'll vote for him. The Hitler and all. Tony Duck says I spend an average of $300 to $400 a week in gas. And how about the poor truckers?
Forget it.
You see the price of diesel fuel, people.
It's sickening. You know, it's absolutely nuts. You know, so.
And think about this, people. All this stuff has happened in 1 year. 1 year under one regime. Think about that. You know, do you realize more people died of COVID under Biden than Trump? You know, they used that as an excuse to get in. But a lot more people died under Biden. Think about that. Now you got people getting the virus that already have the shot. Danny, somebody was kind of making fun of you because you put up a thing about getting the shot.
I don't give a shit. You know.
Explain to them why, though.
Well,
why you got the shot?
Yeah, I mean, I have high blood pressure. I have some other ailments, you know, and it's beneficial to me. You know, I have never gotten COVID, but, you know, I got the shots and I believe in them. If you don't, you don't. I mean, I'm not going to play guinea pig and wait around to see if I get it and drop dead. At least I have a fighting chance. And if people don't believe in the shots, that's fine. I don't begrudge anybody. But for me, you know, I got him. I got the booster and all that. And I got my son the same thing. So.
And you're in a business where you're around people all the time.
The public, so and I'm restricted to what I can do. If I'm not vaccinated, you know, I don't have time to argue the point. I got to make money. Fuck that. You know what I mean? I'll deal with that later. I'll get my shot, and that's it. Keep it moving. If not, how am I going to pay my bills?
And you meet people from all walks of life, and you don't know whether they're sick or not or what's wrong with them.
Exactly.
Would that be right?
Absolutely.
And you pretty much have high blood pressure, you're overweight, you fit in that category like I do of, you know, or my ex-partner, she was very sick. She spent 2 months in the hospital with COVID.
Right.
2 months.
Yeah. It's no joke.
And every day was like she was near death.
Yeah.
She had a 20% chance of surviving. And now she's on an oxygen machine and she's trying to reduce it down. I have some videos up of when I shot her when she was sitting in the hospital, as right when she went into the rehab, and she describes it. So you know, COVID's no joke. You know, it's very dangerous, people. But it was made more dangerous by their rules. John Wolf, my homeowner's cars runs about 300. Yeah, everybody's talking about the same thing. You know, I'm lucky. I live in this beautiful little town and I love it. I go to, like today I went to Amarillo. Maybe I spend $30 a week on gas. But there's people like Danny, for example. How many vehicles do you have, Danny, that are on the road?
5.
And they got to be gassed up all the time.
Yep. I got no choice. What am I going to do?
So if you had to estimate, Danny, in 1 month, say last month, how much money did you spend in gas? Just in your business.
$3,000.
$3,000. And how much did you spend last year at this time in gas?
Oh, it was a lot less. You know, obviously I'm you know, more concerned now because it's more prevalent. I see it. It's killing me. You know, every time I got to try to route the jobs accordingly. I don't want to go out of my zip code because if I do, you know, at least I'm you know, close. When I start going 50 and 60 miles, I'm getting killed. You know what I mean? Because I'm gassing up twice a day.
Have you upped your prices because of the gas increase?
Yeah, it used to be free mobile service. Now it's not. And everybody's screaming about it. But if they don't like it, everybody's doing it. They can go somewhere else. I can't afford not to because I'm getting hammered. And if they don't understand it, I'm sorry. What am I going to
And
do?
you listen, and people, what I'm
I'm
trying to
not
say is,
making no money. I'm just being, I'm not making no money with a service, with charging for a mobile service. I'm not making it. It's going right in the gas tank.
and this $1,500 increase was basically money that was in your pocket before the increase, or went back into your business. Is that correct?
Right. Right.
So now you don't have that. Then you have vehicles that break down. You got to take care of them.
Right. I'm on a plan, as far as maintenance goes, but still, it is what it is. If the prices are higher and you're still at the same spot, you're going to get killed. You're going to get ruined. You can only go so high. I'm governed by the state of Florida and the insurance companies, how high I could go in respect to charging with the insurance companies. And I can't go any higher than that, but nobody understands that,
And people, they're doing this on purpose. They're doing this on purpose. This is a plan. This is not a mistake. These kind of mistakes don't happen. Having all those drugs coming across the border now, that's not a mistake. That's a plan. Having all these people come across the border now, that's not a mistake. It's a plan. Cutting off all the gas is not a mistake. It's a plan. There's so many plans, on and on and on. They're doing this to us on purpose. That's what they're doing. And this is why, what did they say? 58 out of 58 people that Trump endorsed running against the old school Republicans won. 58 of them. So what we're talking about, and this is their plan, and it's a good plan. They're trying to turn the whole Congress. Trump is like trying to flip the whole entire Congress. And he's 58 for 58 right now. So remember that, people. We don't need these old farts like McConnell and these other dirt bags. We don't need them in office. McConnell's a piece of shit. He's as bad as Nancy Pelosi. There's no difference between them. None. Okay, Daniel Chi-Town is where the websites that tracks her trades. Some people are trying to replicate her gains. Yep. Diesel fuel is $6.50 a gallon in Massachusetts. How can you make money off? It's $10 a gallon in California.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. These prices keep going up, but if you can't, compare yourself to get there, to compare to what you're making, you're going to die. Nobody understands that. I guess they want an all welfare state and an all welfare country. Where you got to depend on the government.
Yeah, or something bad's going to happen, people, because Americans are funny people. You can only push them so far. Ask the British. When people get pushed and pushed and pushed, that's when stuff happens. I'm lucky. Danny's lucky. We're 60. We're not going to see what Danny has to worry about his son, his son's just graduated high school. So his son wants to open up his own business and stuff. Will he be able to? That's what it comes down to. And do you worry about that? Like when your son says,
yeah, there's no more American dream. That's all gone. I don't know why, unless you're an immigrant, you want to come over here because they give them everything. Everything. You're born and raised here. You can't get a glass of milk. So, it's sad. You know what I mean? What do you teach your kids? Work hard, do the right thing, and prosper. That's gone. That's gone.
Let me give you an idea I understand the pizza business very well. The main reason, the number one cost thing in a pizza place is cheese. And the price of cheese decides whether a pizza place makes money. Or the quality of cheese you can put on pizza. Like if you want to use Baccio cheese, which is the best cheese there is, and mix it with, say, Roma cheese. And that's what they usually do. So if you're going to put those two together, or Bella, those are more expensive cheese. But these pizza places aren't going to be able to afford those cheeses. So what are they going to do? They're going to go lower quality. The
Right.
pizza's
Sure.
going to suck. They can't
Right.
even afford to put good cheese on pizza now. You know, I can't even imagine what the price of cheese is now in a pizzeria. I can only imagine what these poor guys with pizza places are paying right now, Danny. It must be off
Yeah.
the
It's
chart.
crazy. Yeah.
Especially like in New York. In New York, you want to make good pizza. And these guys that have these great pizza places, they're not making any money anymore because that's their fuel.
You can't.
Yep. And then you have delivery drivers.
Right.
That's gas.
Yep.
So they're fucking everybody in every position there is, people. They're fucking every business. They're doing this all on purpose. It all started when they closed all the businesses down last year. And it's just continuing now. That's all it's doing. The Keystone Pipeline transports Canadian oil to the Gulf, where it is refined and shipped overseas. America does not get that oil. Lee, you are wrong. Mad Dog, take your liberal views. You are wrong, Mad Dog. Okay? You just want to be right. Now, here's what you do. Go watch Joe Biden on TV and listen to him stammering, and he's your leader. My leader's a crazy guy from New York named Donald Trump. I'll take that crazy bastard over your old, feeble, washed up piece of shit, Joe Biden. I'm sorry. I hope I said that good enough. Danny, we're going to become a political show. Watch. No. No. Well, listen, Danny, I just found out that Thursday we're going to have a good guest, Scott Bernstein.
Nice.
He wants us to interview him. And if people know Scott Bernstein, we interviewed him. I interviewed him on the Gunner thing. But we're not going to be talking about Gunner this time. We're going to be talking about Scott Bernstein. We're going to be talking about the Detroit Mafia, Jimmy Hoffa. And we're going to ask good questions. As people know, Scott Bernstein is very, very smart man when it comes to knowing the mafia. I mean, he studied his whole life. He's like the Midwest Jerry Capisci, but he's younger. So what do you think of Scott Bernstein? What you know of him?
Oh yeah, he's definitely well versed in Detroit and some other areas, and he's a sponge. You know, he's very informative. He knows what he's talking about, and it's very educational to hear him speak.
Yeah, and last time he was here was about Gunner, so I didn't get to ask him questions and so stuff he can give our audience, which would interest them. You know, I talked to him about the Jimmy Hoffa murder, and he gave the most logical answer. You know, you hear all this myth about Jimmy Hoffa, like they drove him to New Jersey from Detroit. They put a dead body in the car, Danny, and they drove 1,000 miles with a dead body in a car.
Well, it goes to what I said before. You know, if it doesn't make sense, it's probably not true. And when you start with the hyperbole, you know, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, I know there's an exception to rules, but it just don't make sense. So obviously, it's more feasible what Scott says, and it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So you know.
And I like Scott. He named the 3 guys, and actually, one of the guys that they knew was in on the Hoffa hit, they killed.
Right.
I can't think of his name right now. Scott knows it. He's a pretty popular gangster. But, you know, they killed him because he turned evidence, and the Tocco family, they knew that he was flipping, and they found him dead in the street. So that was probably the last tie to anybody that could actually come forward and say, this is who killed Jimmy Hoffa. We got to remember, Jimmy Hoffa now, was what, 50 years now, Danny? 50 years ago, he was murdered. So not many people, you know, are alive. You know, they would be in their 80s, 90s, 100. The bosses, Provenzano, all those guys, Provenzano, he's dead, you know. So, but what he said, Danny, I don't know if you heard what he said, but it made a lot of sense.
Yeah, yeah, it did.
And I'm looking forward to having him on. We're going to have some interesting conversation. Hey, people, this is the one-time political show tonight. We got into it because you know why? People are suffering right now. You know, they're really suffering. I know that when I go food shopping, I get half the food that I got the month before. And I thank God because I live in North Texas. North Texas, the shelves aren't empty and stuff. But that's because we're in North Texas. But if you're in any of those liberal states, you're fucked. California, New York, that whole East Coast area, West Coast, Oregon, you're screwed. Oh, Don, ask, what state do you think the Colombo family is in right now, Danny?
What state is the Colombo
Yeah, how
crime
are they
family?
right now, health-wise?
Oh, they're diminished. If I don't think there's 50 members. You know what I mean? And particularly with the hierarchy getting clobbered, what's left of the Colombo crime family? But they seem to be resilient, and they always seem to bounce back. But it's not going to be what it was. That's for sure.
I always thought the Colombo family was the most resilient out of all the families.
Well, they are. They were the smaller of the families, and they were a bit different from the other families. And but again, I don't know what's going to happen to that particular family. I'm sure that resiliency is going to be prevalent for them, and they'll be back. But I don't think the numbers are going to be what people think.
And people have to remember the mafia now is going to be a different type of mafia. They're going to run places like, I'll give you an example. I know that there's titty bars still in New York controlled by the mob. A matter of fact, one has just opened back up. It was closed for a while. I'm not going to say the name, but it's in Times Square. And it just opened back up after being closed down. Same owners, but just a different way. They just did it different. Let's put it that way. So they still have their hands in the topless bar business, Danny.
Yeah, that'll never go away. Gambling is never going to go away. In my opinion, that's the bones. That's the foundation of what they were built on. And prostitution is a big, big thing.
Wow. That's amazing. I mean, when you really think about it, because right now, all the crime that was committed in the street can't be committed in the street no more. And these gangs they also know not to murder people no more.
Well, that's just it. The Colombos were notorious for that. And now they have to regroup and figure out the best way to go now. And I think a lot of it's going to be cyber too, but still there's going to be that element of bookmaking and all that, because it's still going to make money.
Mad dog. I don't even know where to put this stupid shit up here, people, but I'm going to do it anyway. Trump lost 2 million more jobs and started office. Biden added 6 million jobs over a year, most ever in the first presidency of any president. Okay, Mad dog, or should I call you Mad dumbass? The reason that they added so many jobs is because COVID is over. You get it? Businesses are opened back up. Do you get it? You don't get it. Okay? You're probably the type that voted for Cuomo in New York, and you see how fucked up New York is now. And you definitely voted for Biden because you don't think. You probably have a poster above your bed of Rachel Maddow or Don Lemon, whatever way you prefer to go. But anyway. Wow. John Wolfe, we got to put government got too large and no lead. Today's America will not fight back when pushed by it. You're right, John. You know what it is? It's called program. All the old timers, when we die off, there's nobody to fight back. Okay, Danny, you have a son. I have a son. Our children. I know my children ain't like me. They're not the type to fight back, even though they were in the military. What do you think? Did you hear me?
Yeah, say it again.
Okay, so I said that my children, that's a good point that John made. My children aren't the type of children to fight back. It's a new generations coming in, and they're being programmed.
It is.
And I'm talking like your son. can you see him being anything like you and fighting back?
Well, my son is quite outspoken about politics. He believes that everybody should have an equal shot. And he doesn't believe the government should have their hands in everything. So, I think my son will fight back.
Well,
He's outspoken.
Well, that's because you're his father.
Yeah, well.
Oh, Vinny, Lee and Danny get some Irish mob content in the future. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Now, don't you put some Irish stuff up on your site, Danny?
I put a lot of Westy stuff up there, and Jimmy Coonan and the Rat Featherstone, and Mickey Spillane, and some other guys.
Yeah. John Wolfe. Lee, you do not understand pizza like Sean McCarthy. Sean McCarthy is Tony Pizza. Fucking John, man. Okay. Pounding Mad Dog spitting facts. Oh, oh God. You know what's scary to me? How many liberals you have out there, Danny. That's pretty scary to me. Thank God for Eli Musk, but you know what he's going to do? He's going to betray us all, people, because Eli Musk believes in a worldwide government. Remember that. He's not that person they're pretending that he is. He wore a jacket to it one time that said one world order on it. So he's not this thing that he's going to take over Twitter and make everything better. Don't believe this shit. He's just another billionaire that wants to take over the world. Okay, let's see. Mad Dog, you keep putting political stuff in here, and you're half a moron, so I can't put your stuff up no more because you're wrong. You're just one of these leftist whack jobs. You probably got long hair. Where do you live in Greenwich Village or something? Mad Dog, I'm going to put this up just because I want to answer this. The people at a Trump rally are no different. I've been to 3 Trump rallies. 3. Best time I had in my life. Nobody fighting, peaceful, people having a good time. See, you're spitting and spewing that garbage that you watch on TV. Rachel Maddow. You know what's funny? Danny? When I disagree with MRE or something, they call me a liberal.
That's what I don't understand. That's my point, what I was talking about before. Irregardless of how you feel, what is the sense of wasting all that energy? I don't know. It's just crazy to me. You know what I mean? It's just absolutely crazy. If you don't believe this one, if you don't believe that one, if that one don't agree with you, it's absolutely insane.
And I'm going to put this retard dog up again. The only Trump rally people will remember happened is June 6, 2021. But you know what they won't remember, Mad Dog? The cities being burnt down, the police stations being burnt down all over the country and all the cities, you idiot. Okay, Hoffa was a great union leader, got Teamsters good wages and pensions, should have retired instead of getting involved in the mob. You know what? He was good in the beginning, but he turned corrupt. Would you say that pretty much, Danny?
Yeah, there's a misconception. He started out good, but then he was hated by his own union. And it's a fact. You can look it up. But he became really, really. A lot of people hated him.
And he was not 1/10 the union leader his son was.
Right.
His son came in and saved the union from the mob. His son couldn't be corrupted. His son was totally opposite of his father. And his son was embarrassed of his father. And people don't realize that. But when his son retired, his son was loved by the union. Jimmy Hoffa was not loved. When Jimmy Hoffa disappeared, it only became famous because he disappeared. That's it. That's the only reason that Jimmy Hoffa was famous. Would you say that?
Yeah, I agree. Yep.
Like his feuds with Bobby Kennedy, that's all myth. That's all made up shit. You think Bobby Kennedy sat down and arm wrestled him like one movie showed? Come on. He was like Jimmy Hoffa was all of 5'3". Lee, you said Europe knows nothing about A-Light and the mafia dumb statement. Okay, Chris. I'm glad you're here, Chris. See, I don't mind you guys that don't like me being here. If you ask good questions like this. Okay, no, it's not a good question. Basically, you're saying that John A-Light is famous in Europe. I'm going to let Danny handle this.
Well, I don't know where you get your information about A-Light, A Liar, Leto, the scumbag. But you're in Europe, so I don't know. The only information you can get about Johnny A Liar is what you read or what people tell you. So if you hold this guy in regards, then you're as much of a scumbag as he is.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. People.
Because he's a coward. He's a punk. So you can believe whatever you guys want to believe about A Liar. He's nothing but a punk and a coward, and that's a fact.
And Danny, you had the privilege to see him getting knocked out, didn't you?
Yeah, he got knocked out from a friend of mine. Knocked him out. So all that tough stuff, and he did this, and he killed 30 people, and he's a killer. He was John Gotti Sr.'s right-hand man. So you keep believing that because you're as dumb as he is.
And he really wasn't the guy that beat him up in the incident in Staten Island. Did he even put up a good fight?
In Coney Island, you're talking about.
Coney Island, I'm sorry. Did he even put up a good fight?
There was no fight. He got hit. He fell down, and that was it. It was broken up. He never got up. But of course, he started with the threats. He's going to kill him. He never did anything to him. He's in Florida right now.
He's in Florida where John A-Light spends a lot of time. A lot of hardworking people retire from the Teamsters with no pension. I hope my pension's there when I retire. Would you say that's true?
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't realize a lot of people retired without no pensions. Is that because they stole all the money?
Yeah, there was no money left.
So for you people that glorified the mafia, think about that. Think about that. And they were all involved on it. Robert, a salute from Suffolk County, Long Island. You know something? I got arrested in that county in Long Island. And I'm going to tell you a story. When I got arrested there, the cop that arrested me took me down to the police station. And he was a real dick. And I remember I was arguing with him as he was booking me and stuff. He was just one of these. Danny, you ever bump into one of these cops that is just a total dick?
Many of them.
And this guy was just such a dick. And I was telling him to go fuck himself. And, and finally I made fun of his height. And because he was I said to him, how did you get in the police force? And people were around him. There was like 20 cops in the room. I said, how did you get on the police force? He says, what do you mean? I said, do they accept people as short as you? And everybody started laughing in the fucking room. But this guy was such a scumbag. That's what I remember about Suffolk County. And they transferred me to New York City. But I'll never forget about being arrested there. Mad Dog's just going on and on and on with the racial.
Senseless.
Yeah, no more Mad Dog. Mad Dog, we know where you stand. You're a leftist dummy. Okay? Lee's Cash App. That's my political Cash App, people. If you want to keep my politics going, send me money. There was a time I would never put that up.
Well, there'll be a show about that. You wait.
Yeah, they'll go, Lee's begging for money. There, let me run that right across. I'm going to run that right across the bottom. Nassau County used to be beautiful. I love Valley. Oh, man, Valley Stream is beautiful. I'm from Long Beach. I love Rockville Center. Ooh, I got arrested in Rockville Center. Damn, what is it about me getting arrested in Long Island? And you know what I hate about getting arrested in Long Island, Danny? I was always transferred to New York City.
Yeah, Long Island's fucked up.
Oh man, and you got to wait for them to come pick you up, and you wait like you have a certain amount of time, and they don't come get you until like an hour left in your wait period. But they'll come get you. New York won't come get you no more. That city's all fucked up. Well, you know, we're going exactly an hour and a half. Mad Dog, yes, you're a liberal. Okay, stop pretending. Okay. Neutral drop. Stay away from Long Island. Mad Dog, but he is still financing the charitable race religion. Okay, well, I'm gonna do a couple more of these, and then I'm gonna hit the road. People, Johnny Baseball, Fat Stuffer is legally hyped for. Okay, well, people, listen. Thank you so much for being here. Danny, would you like to say anything to the people before we leave?
I'm just glad everybody tuned in. I'm sure it wasn't exciting as you wanted it to be, but I appreciate you guys coming out. And,
but you know what? They really did get in. They really did get into the politics.
Well, I'm glad. You know, hopefully next time.
And we're not going to be no more. This is a one-time thing with the politics, people. You guys bought it there tonight. We wind up there. We're going to probably have, most likely, it looks like Scott Bernstein's going to be here Thursday with us, and we're going to have a great show. And we're going to discuss a lot of mob stuff. Today was just we have a lot of angry people out there right now. And, you know, a lot of people are scared. They don't know what they're going to do. Danny, you must be a little bit of afraid because if you have a business.
Well, listen, I can't worry about it, Lee. I gotta just do what I could do, because if I sit there and dwell on it, I get mad, and I don't want to do that. So I just got to keep plugging along and do what I do.
Okay, well, you know, and we've been on for an hour and a half. We were consistently above 200. We're at 153 right now. So we dropped down a little bit, but you know what? We had a good show, and we pick up 80% of our viewers after we put down our shows. I want to explain something to you people before I leave. Danny and I do 3 videos a week. An hour, we do 4.5 hours worth of videos, and we get 20,000 views a week. So these people that have these 8-hour shows that are bragging about how many hours they get and how many views and stuff, think about that. We do 4.5 hours a week, and we get 20,000 views a week. And by the end of this month, we're going to hit 1 million viewers. And Danny, I appreciate it. We're doing very well. The show has been doing great, and thank you all. And you know, I really, really appreciate it. And I know Danny has a lot to do with that, but we're not going to overwhelm you. That's why we stop at an hour and a half, because, you know, we're trying to be professional about this. And that's all I like to say, people. Danny, why don't you tell them about your Facebook site?
This Thing of Ours Social Club, if you want to come by and check it out, a lot of good stuff on there. If
really
not,
good stuff.
You don't have to. But I appreciate everybody coming out and checking us out.
Thank you. Hey, Gunsmoke, thank you. I appreciate that. And for you people that came in here to just talk shit, I love you too. Thank you, and keep coming back. Take care.